Hey there, interwebs. I'll be honest, I didn't want to make another original facts video so soon after the last one, but I've been so busy lately with my day job and other writing projects that I didn't have time to make anything else, so it was either this or nothing. Original fact. The word malarkey is a mutation of malarchy, Greek for rule by the evil. Over time, this near synonym for tyranny transitioned to rule by the incompetent, to flustercluck, to nonsense. Actual fact. No one knows where the word malarkey comes from. It just seems to be a nonsense word which entered usage in roughly the 1920s, along with its now archaic synonym, acamaracus. Original fact. Deviled eggs is actually a mispronunciation of its original name. Doubled eggs, so called because one hard-boiled egg, halved, produces 2 deviled eggs, thereby doubling the number of eggs you have. Actual fact. At church functions, particularly in America's Bible Belt, deviled eggs are known as dressed eggs or stuffed eggs to avoid association with the devil. I like to put a dollop of spicy brown mustard, paprika, and cracked pepper on a halved hard-boiled egg as a lazy alternative. I call these Belphegor's eggs for the devil most associated with the cardinal sin of sloth. Original fact. The phrase armed to the teeth originated in dueling alongside terms like to the death and to first blood. In the 15th century Low Countries, poor men who couldn't afford swords would duel by attempting to bite one another. Thus, being armed to the teeth originally meant unarmed rather than heavily armed. Actual fact. In a 1546 duel between Thomas Whitehorn and James Fisher, the last judicial duel fought on English soil, incidentally, the participants were armed with ram's horns, but when these broke, the two resorted to eye-gouging and biting one another on the groin. Such tactics were sufficiently de rigueur for judicial dueling that the Bracton legal treatise considered a man too maimed to fight if he were missing his front teeth, quote, for they help him greatly to victory, unquote. Original fact. The Italian short sword known as the Cinquedea was invented as an all-in-one tool to cut and serve perfect slices of pizza. Actual fact. Sandwich swords, also known as swizzle swords when used in elaborate cocktails, have been organized in a facetious 5-part typology by Peter Johnson of the Fraternal Order of Licentious Swordsmen, or FOOLS, as Albion Sword's 2005 April Fool's Day hoax. Original fact. Smokey the Bear's middle name, V, is short for Theodore. His friends call him Teddy Bear. Actual fact. Fat Bear Week is an annual fete of fun, fur, and fish-fed flab hosted on Twitter by Katmai National Park. Participants are invited to vote online in a March Madness-style bracket to select the chonkiest bear. Original fact. Armie Hammer's given name is actually Armadillo. Actual fact. The name Armadillo is Spanish for little armored guy. This, theoretically, makes a female armadillo an armadilla. Original fact. Many animals have seemingly unnecessary descriptors in their names, like the duck-billed platypus, naked mole rat, and koala bear, but these once served to distinguish them from now extinct relatives, such as the hog-nosed platypus, hairy mole rat, and koala lion. Actual fact. Although there is no such thing as a hog-nosed platypus, hairy mole rat, or koala lion, there really are other species of mole rats, including the blind mole rat, silvery mole rat, and Somali striped mole rat, and the name of the extinct genus Thylacoleo means marsupial lion. Original fact. The binomial designation for clowns is Erythrhynchus platypus, or red-nosed flatfoot, not to be confused with the duck-billed platypus. These were formerly known as Homo platypus, flat-footed man, until a 2021 analysis of their mitochondrial DNA placed them within their own genus. Actual fact. Platypuses belong to the monospecific genus Ornithorhynchus, meaning bird snout. George Shaw attempted to name the species Platypus anatinus in 1799, but the generic name platypus was already taken by a taxon of ambrosia beetles 6 years prior. Additionally, the specific name of mallards is Platyrhynchus, or flat snout. This means that the latter portion of the duck-billed platypus's name means flatfoot, while the former portion refers by proxy to a flat face. Original fact. Sneeze Zebra was a rejected second-generation Pokémon. Actual fact. The photic sneeze reflex, when a person sneezes due to exposure to bright sunlight, is also known as autosomal dominant compelling helio-ophthalmic outburst syndrome, or ACHOO for short. This is an example of a backronym, an acronym invented to fit an existing word. Another example is the early Dutch computer Zeer eenvoudige binaire rekenautomaat, or ZEBRA. Original fact. WOW is actually an acronym. It stands for Wow, Owen Wilson. Actual fact. Recursive acronyms are a popular joke amongst programmers. The name of the software package GNU is short for GNU's Not Unix. The Lisp machine editors Eine and Zwei come from Eine is not Emacs, and Zwei was Eine initially. Original fact. If you take a men's daily supplement and a women's daily supplement at the same time, it turns you trans, but if you're already trans, you get super strength for the rest of the day. Actual fact. Both of the Wachowskis are trans women, and Lily has stated that they deliberately included transgender themes in The Matrix. The popular claim that the red pill represents transitioning due to the usage of maroon Premarin tablets in 90s-era MTF hormone therapy, however, remains unconfirmed. Original fact. Rick and Morty is short for Brick and Mortar. Actual fact. Rick and Morty began as an R-rated parody of Back to the Future called The Real Animated Adventures of Doc and Marty. Original fact. The first draft of Gone with the Wind called for its final line to be, "Frankly, my dear, I could care less," but there was disagreement about the negation. Actual fact. "Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn" was originally censored, with "I don't give a whoop," "I don't give a straw," and "I don't give a continental" mooted as alternatives. That last one is presumably the opposite of an incontinental, itself contrasting "I don't give a shit." Original fact. The precursor of Jackson Pollock's iconic paintings was created when he noticed a distressingly large spider on the end of his paintbrush. Actual fact. Cobweb painting, also known as Gossamer painting or Spinnwebenbilder in the original German, is the practice of painting on canvases made from layered spider's silk. Although it began as a form of religious art in the 1500s and is still occasionally attempted with secular motifs in the modern day, the practice largely died out a century ago, and fewer than 100 original examples are still known to exist. Original fact. Following Pat Sajak's retirement next year, Ryan Seacrest will take over as the host of Wheel of Fortune, but should he ever get a bankrupt on the final spin, he'll be blackbagged and replaced by Will Shortz. Actual fact. New York Times crossword puzzle creator and editor Will Shortz is the first and only person to ever receive a degree in enigmatology, the study of puzzles, having invented the field himself. Original fact. 1 in 3 residents of Idaho is a dwarf. Actual fact. The mountains of Idaho contain many gemstones, such as jade, topaz, opal, and the state's official gemstone, star garnet, as well as many precious metals, including gold, silver, cobalt, copper, tungsten, zinc, and sodium. Sorry, slipped into a Tom Lehrer song for a moment there. This mineralogical wealth has actually attracted many dwarves to the state, in my urban fantasy detective series. Original fact. Mississippi is the plural form of Mississippus. This is the name of the geopolitical regions which comprise the Magnolia State, the way others are composed of counties. Actual fact. Of the contiguous United States, only Mississippi's neighbor, Louisiana, is not divided into counties. They use parishes instead, and Alaska, meanwhile, uses boroughs. This too provides a clue in that detective series. Original fact. Broccoli is also a plural. A single floret is called a broccolus. Actual fact. Broccoli belongs to the family of cruciferous vegetables, named for their 4-petaled flowers in the shape of a cross. Crucifer means cross-bearing, like how Lucifer means light-bringer. Original fact. The plural of octopus is not octopi, because octopus is already the plural. A single 8-limbed cephalopod is called an octopu. Actual fact. The word octopus literally means 8-footed, although technically speaking, they have 0 feet. Their limbs are classified as arms. The 7-armed octopus, however, has 8 arms, making both halves of its name incorrect. Original fact. The plural of emu is emus, but the plural of emus is emai. Actual fact. The specific name of the emu, Dromaeus novae hollandii, harkens back to a time when the land down under was still known as New Holland. Their collective noun is a mob, but perhaps the term regiment would be more fitting given the events of the Great Emu War, which I hope to cover in greater depth in a future video. Original fact. The collective noun for a group of rats is a wealth of rats, but pile is also acceptable. Actual fact. A group of rats is called a mischief. That being said, I'll still be calling Jonathan, Quincy, and Arthur here my personal wealth of rats when I'm not calling them Team Harker. On that note, original fact. In every scene of the novel Dracula in which Quincy Morris appears, he's twirling a revolver. It just isn't stated because it doesn't need to be. Actual fact. I will hopefully have more to say about Bram Stoker's Dracula in the first of next month's videos. Until then, thanks for watching and have a nice day.